Professor Wiseguy here with another 5-minute fix. Today, we're going to deal with the pesky problem of sentence fragments. If that's an issue in your writing, buckle up for a solution. Now, in its simplest form, a sentence needs to have two things. A subject, that is, something, and a verb, or something that the subject is doing. Now let's check in with Tarzan for some help explaining. Tarzan. How do you respond? You're probably wondering something like, what about Tarzan? Or what if Tarzan says this? Run. Just run? So is Tarzan telling me to run? Or is Tarzan about to run? What is it? But even with just two words, Tarzan could communicate a very simple sentence. Tarzan, run. Yes, that Tarzan uses some bad grammar, but you would too if you were raised by apes. So Tarzan run or Tarzan runs, that's a complete sentence. Tarzan is the thing, the subject, while runs is what Tarzan does. It could be Tarzan eats, or Tarzan sleeps, or Tarzan swings through the jungle on vines. This is probably not completely new stuff for you, but it helps us to get to the problems that lead to sentence fragments. A fragment occurs when one of these two elements, the subject or the predicate, is missing, or, and this is more common, when there are other words that indicate that the subject and predicate depend on something else. Confused yet? Let's get back to Tarzan. Tarzan runs. That's a complete, if not terribly fulfilling sentence. But what about this? When Tarzan runs. You're waiting to know what happens when Tarzan runs, right? When Tarzan runs, he gets tired. When Tarzan runs, his feet hurt. But just when Tarzan runs needs something else. It is subordinate to something else. Now, have you ever been told not to begin a sentence with because? Well, there's nothing wrong with starting a sentence with because, but your third grade teacher was trying to help you to avoid fragments. Because Tarzan runs. That's not enough, is it? Because Tarzan runs, he joined the track team. Now that works. Fragments aren't just short either. Try this one on. Tarzan, the son of British aristocrats, orphaned as a baby and raised by apes. That's not all that short, but it is a fragment because there aren't any verbs that directly show what Tarzan did. Both of the verbs there, orphaned and raised, are what we call participles, and they help to describe Tarzan. It would be easy to fix this one. We could add a verb to this fragment. Tarzan, the son of British aristocrats, orphaned as a baby and raised by apes, runs. Or we could toss a was in before one of the participles. Tarzan, the son of British aristocrats, was orphaned as a baby and raised by apes. Or Tarzan, the son of British aristocrats, orphaned as a baby, was raised by apes. Now, usually, fragments will naturally belong to the sentence that comes just before or just after them. There stood Tarzan, the son of British aristocrats. Throw a comma in there in place of the period and you're pretty much good to go. Most people can hear a fragment in their writing if they pay attention to it. To do that, especially if you have a tendency to drop these little nuggets in your work, try reading every single sentence that you write out loud. Go from capital letter to period and you'll probably catch most of the fragments that you create. So what's the bottom line here? Make sure you have a subject, noun, and a predicate, verb, in every sentence you write. Make sure that you haven't made that subject and verb subordinate with something like a because. And read each sentence out loud and alone to try to find your fragments. Finally, try joining the fragment to the sentence immediately before or after it for an easy correction. Now, these guidelines won't fix all of your fragment issues, but they should help you start getting on top of the issue. I hope this has been helpful. If so, then like it and subscribe and all that good stuff. But for now, Tarzan, go! In other words, get out of here.